Chapter 20, A New Dawn. The first light of dawn cut through the smoky haze that hung over the battlefield, casting long shadows across the wreckage of the alien command center. The air was thick with the stench of burnt metal and the acrid tang of ozone, remnants of the battle that had raged through the night. Lyra stood at the entrance of the ruined alien base, her heart pounding with adrenaline, though the fight was over. Bodies, both human and alien, littered the ground, a grim reminder of the price they had paid. Lyra's muscles ached from exertion, her skin was coated in grime, and her ears still rang from the cacophony of war. But there was no time to rest. The victory was theirs, but the war was far from over. Zara appeared beside her, his face streaked with soot and blood, yet his eyes gleamed with the fierce determination that had carried them this far. "We did it," he said, his voice a low rasp. "But we need to secure the area before the rest of the alien forces regroup." Lyra nodded, her gaze sweeping over the shattered remains of the alien technology that had been their bane. "Let's move," she ordered, her voice firm despite the exhaustion tugging at her limbs. The remnants of the resistance moved through the debris-strewn corridors of the alien base, their footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. Every shadow, every flicker of movement was met with the raised barrel of a gun, but the alien forces had been thoroughly crushed. As they reached the heart of the command center, Lyra's eyes fell on the central console, the brain of the entire operation. The device Thorn had rigged to disrupt the aliens' communication lay smoking on the ground, its purpose fulfilled. "Start collecting whatever intel you can," Lyra commanded, waving a group of tech specialists forward. "We need to know if there are any other bases like this." Zara moved beside her, glancing at the alien machinery with a mixture of awe and revulsion. "We might have crippled them here, but we can't let our guard down. Who knows what other tricks they might have up their sleeves." Just as Lyra was about to respond, a sudden flicker of movement caught her eye. From the shadows, Shadow appeared, moving with a strange grace, his eyes glowing eerily in the dim light. Lyra's breath caught in her throat. "Shadow," she whispered, her voice trembling. She hadn't seen him since the battle began. The cat padded silently towards her, stopping just short of the central console. Before Lyra could react, the console sparked to life. A holographic projection burst forth, displaying a map of the galaxy. Shadow, seemingly guided by some unseen force, placed his paw on a specific point in the vast expanse of space. The projection zoomed in, revealing an ancient alien structure, a place of immense power and importance. Zara stepped forward, his eyes narrowing at the image. "What the hell is that?" Lyra's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the significance. "It's their home base. The source of their power." The realization hit like a bolt of lightning. This was it, the heart of the alien operation. Destroying it could end the war once and for all. But it would be a dangerous mission, perhaps the most dangerous they had ever undertaken. "We have to strike now," Lyra said, her voice firm, though the enormity of the task ahead was not lost on her. "Before they have a chance to recover." Zara nodded, his jaw set in grim determination. "Then let's finish this." Within hours, the resistance forces were mobilized. Their battered ships, barely holding together after the last battle, were loaded with the few remaining weapons and explosives. Lyra, Zara, and a select team of the most seasoned fighters boarded the lead ship. As they hurtled through space towards the alien stronghold, Lyra felt a mix of fear and exhilaration. This was it, the final push, the moment that would determine the fate of Earth and possibly the entire galaxy. The alien stronghold loomed ahead, an ominous structure pulsating with energy. The closer they got, the more intense the resistance became. Alien ships swarmed them, their weapons blazing, but the resistance forces fought back with everything they had. Lyra's ship broke through the defensive lines, diving straight for the heart of the base. As they breached the outer defenses, they were met with a wave of alien soldiers, each one more fearsome than the last. The fighting was brutal, hand-to-hand combat in the narrow corridors of the alien base. Lyra moved like a force of nature, her every motion fueled by the desire to end this war once and for all. Zara fought by her side, their movements synchronized after years of battling together. Finally, they reached the core of the base, a massive chamber filled with alien technology. At the center stood Morax, the alien leader who had orchestrated the invasion. His form was imposing, his eyes burning with a cold, calculating rage. "You've come far," Morax hissed, his voice reverberating through the chamber. "But your efforts are futile. This galaxy will bow to us, and your kind will be but a memory." Lyra raised her weapon, her hands steady. "We'll see about that." The battle that ensued was nothing short of cataclysmic. Morax unleashed powers that seemed beyond comprehension, warping reality around them. But Lyra and Zara fought with a desperation born of necessity. They had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. Shadow, too, played his part, darting through the chaos to disrupt the alien technology. His presence seemed to weaken Morax, as if the balance Shadow represented was tipping the scales in their favor. Finally, with a well-timed strike, Lyra delivered a fatal blow to Morax, piercing the alien leader's core with a weapon enhanced by Thorn's modifications. Morax's body convulsed, and with a final, earth-shaking roar, he disintegrated into nothingness. With Morax gone, the alien forces began to collapse. Their ships faltered, their soldiers fell back in disarray, and the energy that powered their stronghold flickered and died. The resistance forces barely made it out in time as the base began to implode. They raced back to their ships, the ground shaking beneath them as the alien stronghold crumbled. As they cleared the atmosphere, the base exploded in a brilliant flash of light, signaling the end of the alien threat. Back on Earth, the news spread like wildfire: the war was over. The alien invaders had been defeated, their leader vanquished, and their forces in full retreat. But the victory was bittersweet. The cost had been immense, and the world they returned to was forever changed. As the resistance regrouped, Lyra stood before the makeshift memorial they had erected for the fallen. Zara joined her, his face etched with the same mixture of grief and hope that she felt. "We did it," Zara said softly. "But at what cost?" Lyra nodded, her eyes scanning the names etched into the stone. "They died for a future worth fighting for. It's up to us to make sure that future is realized." As the sun set on the war-torn landscape, Lyra felt a sense of calm settle over her. The battle was over, but the fight for humanity's future was just beginning. "We'll rebuild," she said, her voice filled with quiet determination. "And we'll do it together." Zara nodded, his hand resting on her shoulder. "Together." And as the night fell, Lyra knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them united, stronger than ever before. The dawn of a new era was upon them, and with it, the promise of a future they would shape with their own hands.